Hi you guys, so I'm super excited because with a little teamwork from Mr. Munyon and Mr. Lindsay, I have been able to come up with a reasonably good substitute for showing you how to do this in person. So let me show you some. You should recognize this problem. I'm going to give you some like a supply list that you need. You're going to need obviously something to trace. I have here the original piece of paper. This would certainly work. If you have a printer, you can print off the PDF versions. I think you can see why I chose to use my teacher tricks and blow this up. Because for demonstration, while I could do this at home using the materials I'm about to show you, just for my own, that's a very small thing for you to try to watch on camera. So I just took that and I blew it up and printed it off. If you don't have a printer, you could get just a regular piece of graph paper and then copy down what you see on the screen. You could copy, just, draw the coordinate plane, and you could put the triangle wherever it appears. I know I'm not doing it exactly right, but you could draw the triangle and then you could trace it like I'm going to show you how to do in just a second. So you can make it work. I know it's not, since you don't have a printed textbook, I know it's not ideal. You're going to be taking the test online. So you're probably going to be drawing it on your own paper and then tracing it, but still, it's all going to work. I'll show you how to do it. The other materials that you're going to need, so you're going to need something to trace. You're going to need a pen or a pencil or something that has a point on it that can hold your picture in place. And you're also going to need a baggie. Yes, I said a baggie. The baggie could be any size, it doesn't matter. I have here a gallon size baggie, and the gallon size baggie, it has writing on it, so what I did to mine was I kind of cut it, but if you have too much here, it gets kind of cumbersome. The other one, I just have this quart size baggie right here, but again, it too has writing on it, so I'll probably take my scissors and cut that one so that I get to the clear part. Okay, so like I said, you're gonna need scissors. Here's a piece of patty paper I was practicing, a piece of baggie that I was practicing with. So I'm gonna cut this one and use the clean piece. So I said I thought that since I was using a dry erase marker that it would erase. Oh, it will if you erase hard enough. It will erase if you take it off immediately, because I did erase part of it a while ago. But anyway, okay, so your material list is, you need something to trace. You need a baggie or something clear that you can see through. You need a pen, and you're going to need some sort of marker. I have Expo markers in every drawer in my house because I'm a teacher, and that's what teachers do. We collect Expo markers. But you can use any other kind of marker, a Crayola marker or a Sharpie, or just whatever. But I'm going to use this Expo marker. Okay, so here's your ingredients. Then you're just going to lay the piece of your baggie down and get it nice and flat, and then take your marker and you're going to trace over your pre-image. Okay, you want to trace the pre-image. Now, in this particular problem, we were trying to find the center of rotation. If they gave you the center of rotation, you would want to trace that as well. But on this one, we were trying to find the center of rotation. And if you remember, I first incorrectly guessed that it would be right there. And I liked that point because it looked like it was halfway between those 2 points. There was a flaw in my thinking. But I believe the directions told us to rotate it counterclockwise. So counterclockwise is this way. Oh, another piece of helpful information. If I need to tape down my the paper that I'm tracing, because every time I move my baggie, it moves my paper. So I just taped it down so that it wouldn't move it anymore. Okay, so I believe our directions told us to go counterclockwise. That means that we'll rotate this way towards the left. And it told us to go counterclockwise 90 degrees. So I'm holding my pen or my sharp instrument, my letter opener or a tack or a pencil or whatever. I'm holding it with a little bit of force. And then I'm just going to I'm taking my finger and I'm rotating, it's snagging, and I'm rotating this counterclockwise, and I'm going to rotate it until it's 90 degrees. Now, how do I know it's 90 degrees? Because this horizontal line right here became perfectly vertical. Oh, you see it erased. It became perfectly vertical, and so the change from horizontal to vertical is 90 degrees. And also the point which was pointing up is now pointing left, and so that's a change of 90 degrees. So I see that this image did not land on top of the image it was supposed to. So that means that my point of rotation was not correct. So I'm going to rotate and put my trace back on top of the pre-image, and I'm going to move my point of rotation. Hold it steady, rotate my paper, and I'm getting closer. I'm a little bit closer to it, and if you remember, we decided it was right here because this was equidistance from this one. It was 2 units away from the base here. It's 2 units away from the base here. So, and it was also the center of a circle that we imagined. Remember imagining the circle. So this one is where we think it is, and we try and we see that it works. All right, so that's the beauty of this paper. It allows for really, really, really easy trial and error. And it's not messy, and it's not time consuming, and it's not difficult. So it's really easy trial and error. So if you had traced this onto your own paper, you would do basically the same thing, okay? You would have just, it erases if you do it pretty quick. You would just trace what you drew, and you'd want to try to do it, you know, to the same dimensions. And you could also do the other one and then do it on your own paper until you see that it ended up where it was supposed to. So you can make it work even if you don't have a pre-printed image like this, or if you have to redraw it yourself, you can still do it. Now this also works for translations. So if you have your pre-image and you want to translate it 2 units to the right and 5 units down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see where the image would end up. It works beautifully for reflections. Let's say we wanted to reflect this about the line y equals -2. Well, here's the line y equals -2. You do want to draw your line of reflection when you're doing reflections. So trace over your pre-image, be sure you trace over whatever the line of reflection is, and then you simply flip it over. Be sure you put the line of reflection back where it goes. It was y equals -2, so it goes right there. And then there is your image for this pre-image. Okay, if it was supposed to be reflected about, oh, let's make it hard. Let's say it was supposed to be reflected about this line right here. Okay, so that's the line y equals 3. Okay, that's the line y equals 3. So you still flip it upside down. Be sure this line gets back on y equals 3, and then you see the reflected image. Okay, so rotations, super easy. Translations, you can slide it any way around, and rotations. The rotations, this is my favorite way to do it. I hope that helps.